And as people donate, we'll take it in. I'm not going to buy it, but I'm assuming it will be donated in this valley. So
let me see if I can do this. Galleries.
we're adding up.
A lounge, a print educational center, classes.
Yep.
Did I leave one out?
Yeah, oh yeah. Do
Let's,
you want me to keep going?
Let's have another one.
For those folks who can't get down to San Jose during the day and we're closed, we have something called night moves, and we do rear screen projections in our 2 big front windows. So we have these massive projectors inside the gallery, and we have artists who are working in new media who, create videos, and we play them in the front window after dark.
Now, so that means if I'm walking down the street, I might stumble onto this, or if I knew it was going to happen, does what you do have such a draw that people actually come to see what you're projecting?
It actually does. And one of the reasons that it does is because the very first time we did it, it was just an idea because we had closed the gallery, our old gallery across the street. We had closed to do some renovating in the gallery, and I thought, wow, for 6 weeks, I don't want to just completely shut down. We got to do something here. And we had, in our old space, floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall glass front. And so we covered it with material. And a very well-known new media artist from San Francisco, Jim Campbell, came down and worked on this project. And he projected an image of fire on that material so that from the outside, it looked like the gallery was engulfed in flames. And then in front of the projector, we dangled a Ken doll, and we had a little fan. It was all very Flintstones on the inside, quite honestly, so that the Ken doll was kind of going like this, but he was projected life-size in the doorway, so it looked like he was struggling to get out. So it also had an audio component. It crackled and roared, and I called the police, and I called the fire department, and I said, from this date to this date, here's what's going on. And inevitably, they would show up at least once a week. It was so convincing. People were calling 911, and I just stood across the street, and I thought, we're on to something here. We got to keep this up. And it went, with no running room, with no PR, no nothing. We got so many, San Jose's ICA is on fire. What's hot? San Jose has its very own Burning Man. It was awesome.
Minor thing. What is a Ken doll?
A Ken doll?
I don't know.
Michael. He's
I skipped
Barbie's
childhood.
boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Come on.
I'm embarrassed.
You got to hit a Toys R Us on the way home.
All right. I'm going to ask you about some of the services you provide, but what's your website?
It's SJICA for San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art.org.
Okay, and for somebody who's just come into this program, you're Cathy Kimball, and we're talking about, among other things, so there's resurgence in San Jose for art and entertainment, and it's a district, and you call the district the South of First Area, SOFA.
SOFA. Everyone calls it SOFA. Nobody calls it South of First Area.
And it's bordered on the north by some very big theaters, the Opera, some Playhouse, right? And it's bordered on the south by your organization, which is the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art.
Correct.
Or as you like to say, ICA. Now, I think it was 4 services that you provide that you mentioned so far.
I could keep going.
I'd like another one.
We do an educational program called Talking Art, and it's the second Thursday of the month, I think. It's every month, and it's usually we do programs that relate to our own programming. So we'll have a dialogue. We'll have speakers who are talking about whatever issues are in the exhibition. We might have the exhibiting artists talking about their work and how they came to that. We might have a session on printmaking and the techniques, the new techniques involved. We also, every once in a while, do programs on the business of being an artist. So not how to make art, but how you get your art out there, how you promote yourself, how you build a website, how you approach a a nonprofit gallery or a museum? What are the pros and cons to working in particular mediums, and whether collectors are going to not like that or whether they're going to be drawn to it, what people are collecting. So it's a service to a variety of people in the community. It's a service to collectors, to artists, to just art enthusiasts, and to people who really need more insight into the art in the galleries.
Okay, now I'm sort of thinking about what caliber of person participates as a moderator or a speaker, and it brings me to you for a moment, but then I'll come back to the other aspect. First of all, do you participate in these programs? Do you share your insights?
Yeah, absolutely. I moderate most of them. So I am, and by virtue of my own me, I tend to actually chime in when need be. So yes.
Yeah, but what experience do you have to qualify, to say you're really giving good insights? And let me just back up now. Did you tell me off camera you started work at the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art in the year 2000?
Correct.
All right, so you have some experience. Were you in art in any capacity prior to that, or housewife maybe?
No, that wasn't an option really for me. Before I came to the ICA, I was at the San Jose Museum of Art for 4 years. And before that,
What were you doing there?
I was in the curatorial department. I actually headed up the curatorial department for a couple of years.
And for us that don't know what a curator is,
yeah.
what does a curator do?
Well, a curator is someone who really sets the exhibition schedule, who decides what the shows are going to be about, who the artists are going to be who are going to be in those shows, and then works on the interpretive material, how you're going to tell your story. Because it really is about telling a story and being sure that you have all the parts so that you've proven your thesis at the end of that show.
No, all right.
I mean, you're really more of a contemporary historian.
All right.
I mean, you're taking things that are happening right now and seeing some connection with them and telling a story.
All right. So if you're pretty much moderating these once every month on a Thursday, and it's obvious you have a tremendous background in the world of art, and many, curator from the San Jose Museum. And did you want to say where you were before that?
Sure. I was a curator at the New Jersey Center for the Visual Arts for a number of years. And before that, I worked for the State University of New York and their programs in the arts. I did their visual arts programming for the SUNY system, State University of New York system.
Yeah, you have a great background. Okay, how many people show up at one of these art talk sessions that you host?
It varies. It can be anywhere from 30 or 40 to we've had as many as 130.
Okay. Fine. I'd like to go to another topic because we're running out of time here. I think I heard you're a nonprofit.
Yes.
And that means to an extent, maybe a big extent, you have to rely on folks to donate money. And do you have any big fundraising activities coming up?
Yeah, we do. We actually, every year we have an annual fall art auction. And we've done it every single year, so this is our 29th year. The proceeds represent about 20% of our budget, so it's a huge effort, and it's a big event that I think has come to be seen as the place to go and get art. Last year we raised about $188,000, which is significant on a $700,000 budget.
It happens in October?
It's October 24th.
October 24th. Hi, I'm Michael Killen. My guest has been Cathy Kimball. She's the head of the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art. Her big event is in October. It's an auction, but meanwhile, she has several important exhibits going on. Thank you. I'm Michael Killen.